Jen Regolick, Nicole Segura.
Here.
Kristen Thacker.
Here.
Stephanie House.
Here.
Rebecca Jenkins. Here. Board President.
Everybody stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have any public participation?
No.
Oh. Nope. No public participation, and administrative reports.
So in your board packet tonight, you have the variety of reports, a couple of which I'm going to speak about. So the property tax relief grant will be, this meeting in which we talked about that grant. However, that was not funded this year by the state, so there's no relief grant to apply for this year. We've applied for that grant every year that's been eligible. We've been in the top 40, 50, but not quite to the level of being qualified for it. State did not fund it, therefore there's no grant. So normally you would see that this board meeting, because back next year you'll see it in the November meeting. It's also the time of the year in which we go over the Illinois School Report Card. I have that one loaded up on the screen. I will go ahead and move back to the podium here and talk about it. So the Illinois School Report Card comes out the last of October every year. It's based on the student assessments that our students take the previous school year in March. And so this is looking at how the district compared for the last two school years, 23-24 and 24-25 years. Here are the variety of metrics that you can find on the Illinois Report Card. If you're on our website, you can link directly to the website and see the report card in its entirety. There's also a copy of it. It's like 167 pages long for the full district-wide document. It's in the board packet, publicly available if you want to look at it yourself. There's a variety of different methodologies, and what you're going to look at here, you see percentiles. 50 percentiles means you're right in the middle of the districts. 51, closer to 100 is better in some cases. Sometimes closer to 1 is better, depending on what metric we're looking at. Disclaimer: state changed the goalpost again this year. So we've been having 5 different levels of achievement, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it's been changed to 4. There's information about that included in the public document as well. Most districts will see changes and fluctuations based on where the new school new cut scores were. So for the most of them, English and math and science, they were all changed. You're going to see some changes in our scores. So here's the first of many tables. This is the comparing the 24 to 25 student achievement levels. You can see the state values here in the orange or tan color. Districts are in the green. Percentiles in the blue for 24, and here it is for 25. In ELA, our proficiency was up 7.2% from 52.4 to 59.6. So we gained, but we gained most of that gain was in the change of where the cut scores came out. Overall, as a district, we went from the 76th percentile down to the 63rd percentile. We lost 13 percentile points. Math scores 34.8 to 46.5. Science went down 67.9 to 58.5. You can see the different fluctuations there. 8th graders passing algebra is a concern that that I have. We've been struggling with our Algebra 1 passing grade in 8th grade. We are not pushing enough students into algebra in 7th grade and 8th grade and then getting into a geometry level. That is something that I've talked to the junior high administration about. We need to work on that. Future years, we need to start changing how we track students in math and push more students away from the general middle math and into the higher levels of math. The school report card also looks at financial information. This particular one has teacher salaries, admin salaries, property tax rates, how much EAV, that's local property tax wealth per student, and your spending levels. You can can see the change from 24 to 25. Our salary went up. Property tax went down. EAD per pupil went up. Our spending went up slightly, and the operational spending went up slightly as well. Student demographics. The indicators here, obviously, you have white, black, Hispanic, Asian. We have English language learners. We have students with IEPs, low income, and homelessness. And you can see the state values, the district values, and our changes from year to year. Pretty stable when it comes to demographics across the last 2 years. District-wide demographics looks at enrollment, attendance, mobility, average class size. Some fluctuation here. Obviously, as you know, our enrollment's been going up the last 5 years. From a low of about 620, now last year at 896, currently this year at 907. Our attendance rates hover around 94% every year. Everything else is relatively stable when it comes to district-wide demographics. There's also the 5 Essential Survey. We did not, in my opinion, get a lot of participation in the 5 Essential Survey from parents and folks in the community. That one was kind of down as far as we look at the website. Did you get a high level of participation? We did not. Something else we need to work on moving forward, trying to get more folks to take that survey. Proficiency scales for ELA. You can see the 24 state median, shift to 25 here in the blue. We are the dash lines. That's our district. We were 24. We were here. 25. We're here. Just around 60% proficiency in ELA. In math, different looking bell curve, but still a bell curve. Again, the state increased their scores based on the change in benchmarks, and our district did move to the right as well. Science went backwards, and they changed those scales in different directions. So I went backwards in 25 in science. Some key takeaways and observations that I have when I look at the overall scores. Obviously, those cut scores, they kind of undermine comparative nature of year over year on our scores. State consistently changes things. Their testing procedures are every 7 to 8 years. Cut scores happen the same way as well. I mean, I've been around almost 35 years, and go back to all kinds of growth models they had back in the late 90s when I first started teaching. I think how they changed over the years, so not a shock. Our summative designation, we once again were commendable at both buildings. The next set of graphics look at different ways of looking at student achievement. These are the ones that I kind of look at more closely. So these are our historical trends by grade level, by cohort group. So this is a historical trend from 2015 to 2025 on third grade ELA, that's English Language Arts. So every year, given the third graders, in 2015, they were 64.4% proficient. This past year, 51.9%. You can see it's relatively flat in ELA in third grade. There's your fourth grade ELA. It's in orange. Fifth grade over time. Sixth grade, a little more variability over time. Seventh grade and eighth grade. We also look at the same thing for math. Okay, so here's your math historically for the last 11 years. Fourth grade math, fifth grade math, sixth grade, seventh, and eighth. Those are historical trends of each grade level, how the school board reports it out. This is the cohort trend. So these would be this past year's seniors, okay, when they were in our school in eighth grade. So you can see what they did. That same group did in third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. Obviously, in sixth grade, that was the COVID year. There was no testing. So that group was really consistent on their scoring from third grade through eighth grade. High school juniors, high school sophomores, last year's eighth graders, this year's freshmen. You can see where their scores are. The COVID year was the third grade year. Now here's our current group. This is our current eighth grade group. They haven't tested for eighth grade yet, but you can see what they've done in third grade through seventh grade. Very consistent in ELA. This is the seventh grade group. We have 4 years of data. This is the sixth grade group, the fifth grade group. We don't do our fourth grade. There's only one data point for that, so there's no point putting it out there just yet. So you just kind of see the trends. Here's your cohort in math for the seniors, the juniors, sophomores, freshmen. Current eighth graders, current 7th graders, current 6th graders. Yeah, it looks like a huge drop. It's only 4 percentage points. So it looks like a huge drop, but it wasn't that huge when you look at the actual numbers. 5th grade group. And you'll see next year, you'll see the new one for the 4th grade. So this is looking at the county. Okay, so when we look at the county schools, we compare ourselves to Prairie 26, Crystal Lake 47, Fox River Grove 3, Harrison 36, Marengo 165, McHenry 15, Nippersink 2, and Riley 18. Those are the elementary districts in the county. We look at the ELA proficiencies, math, science, 8th graders passing algebra. So you hit all their different individualized scores. If you see one that has a dash, that means they didn't have enough students in that area for a cohort group. So it was no score reported. Below that, you'll see the proficiency, the rank within that group. So you had 9 districts. So Prairie Grove and ELA was 4th. In math, we were 2nd. Science, we were 2nd. 8th graders passing algebra in the county, we were 8th. 8th meant last because Harrison didn't have score reported. This is the financial information from average teacher salary, average admin salary, per spending per pupil, instructional and operational. Once again, you can see the rank, Prairie Grove 7th in teacher salary, 1 in admin salary, 1 in property tax, 5th instructional spending, and 2nd in operational spending. Student demographics, same ones you saw earlier in the slides, but here looking at the different county schools. Prairie Grove, white 2nd, black 3rd, Hispanic 8th, Asian 1st, EL 7th, IEP's 4th, low income 9th, almost a 2nd. Sometimes it's going to be 1st, some cases it's going to be last. Just depends on the metric you're looking at. District demographics. Prairie Grove was 6th in the county for enrollment last year, 4th in attendance, 8th in mobility, 8th in chronic absenteeism, 3rd in truancy, 7th on class size, 5th on teachers with advanced degrees, and 4th in teacher retention. The 5 essential survey, middle of the pack and below, 5th, 5th, 8th, 5th, 5th, 6th, 8th on the response ranks. Questions? It's a lot of numbers. I know. I acknowledge that. It's a lot of numbers.
Have we had any like talking points with the community to understand the importance of taking the 5 essential survey and how it impacts our school report card?
I mean, when you say impacts our report card, it's a data point on the report card. Okay. There's no, my understanding, there's no penalty, positive or negative for that currently. We might have done that years ago when it first came out. We haven't done anything recently encouraging folks to do that. We always encourage our staff to do it, but we had a very low response rate for staff. Students, 90%, it's a pretty good rank. The lowest was 47, I believe. Could be better than that. We generally give students time in class to do that. Take a day and say, here's the survey. We don't always do it.
Do you give teachers time, like in a staff meeting, to take the survey?
I believe we do. Other questions?
Yeah, I have some questions too. I think it's probably related to math and ELA, right? We might have the same questions. Go ahead. No, you go.
Okay. First, thank you. It's really
Yeah.
good information, so it's super helpful. I have just a couple points and questions. So, absolutely agree on the algebra 1. So I hope that we're looking at that and working towards increasing that because we are ranking last in our peers, and I think we're below the state, which just doesn't make sense for us. And I do believe there was growth. There's a lot of numbers, but I think there was growth, so that's great. Just an observation on the numbers slide. So teacher salary, admin salary, EAV. Most things are between the 55th and 75th percentile, except for our teacher salaries, which I think we're all aware of. Those are in the 39th percentile. So that's something I know that the board is looking at very seriously because the teacher salary is just out of whack with all of the other numbers there. So just to validate, I think, where we're thinking we need to invest money in the future. I
I'm at fault of this. Chronic absenteeism is very high. Things happen, kids have sports, but it's just, I think it's important for us, you know, to continue to remind everyone why it's important for kids to be in school. And then 6th and 8th grade math performance appears to be super low compared to everything else. So I would just be wondering why. Is that curriculum? Is that instruction? But they're both performing in the 30th percentile. That's ELA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 8th grade similar, and that's just too low. Like that's not a great performance. And then lastly, and also lots to celebrate. Like our ELA and proficiency at the elementary school is phenomenal. The ELA growth at the elementary school is phenomenal. So also lots to celebrate. One note where I think we just could be thinking about, because it's also a game, and the state is changing the game next year. But the climate survey, if we can actually get 100% of our kids to take it, we're missing out on like 3/4 of a percent of a point, only because the students didn't take it, and that's just logistics. So if we could get all of our students to take it, that would just help us. And why leave the points on the table if we don't have to? So I think lots of good things to celebrate and a couple of things to definitely dig into and continue to work for.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna
just
make a quick comment on that.
Sure.
So I agree, math scores overall are not good. When I look at the 24 to 25, we made a change in our math curriculum a year ago. 5th grade in the junior high especially, 5th grade 26 to 48, 6th grade 31 to 30, 7th grade 27 to 50. So 8th grade 18 to 33. So we did change the curriculum. We are expecting that growth to continue. I mean, it may not be the same type of percentage in the volume, but yes, we've invested in that curriculum to make it better for the students. We've invested in some our student day math, and so we hope we see some gains with it. I agree. The scores in the 20s and 30s are not good enough. We need to be closer to 70. That'd be a great goal. Closer to 70. So yeah, we're working towards it. We understand that. So, Mrs. Segura, you had something else?
I was just gonna say, just so, I'd like not to go back in history or anything, but just to get back to where we were when we were number 1 in the county. And then if we maybe are collaborating to see like what some of the other districts are doing that's working for them, and maybe we can adapt. And then if we could also communicate with parents the importance of our students being successful in Algebra 1 and the correlation with how successful they will be in high school and for higher learning as well. I think just being transparent with parents and helping them to support their students at home, and like giving them maybe little things that we can do at home to help them to be like to build our community.
Any other questions from the board? Leave that out there for now. So obviously we're gonna start having a discussion now about the 26-27 school calendar. You have the drafts in your board packet. B was the one that both unions liked, although we did talk about some tweaks to it. It's not on the docket for approval or anything like, but I don't know if there's any board feedback on the school calendar options, A, B, and C. We typically do present three. One that kind of matches the high school traditional, because 155 generally starts the week or so before anybody else starts, so they can have the same number of days in each semester. So before the winter break, when the semester ends, they have the same number of days, semester 1 and 2. The feeder schools typically go a little later than that, usually the week to 10 days late after the high school. So our calendar looks different. The end days look different. We try to match all the holidays as best we can. And then obviously we always get an alternate things you could do if you wanted to do it differently. Right now we're leaning toward B-ish. So if you get board members feel strongly about it at some point in time in the next 6 weeks, please let me know. After the first year, you will see an action item on the agenda to approve the calendar for 26, 27.
I know a lot of times community feedback that I have heard is that they would like it to match 155 due to sibling attendance and high school starting sooner leaves childcare issues and things like that. So generally that's what I hear from the community. consideration, with our staff, how that works for them or,
So I didn't do a survey of parents this year. I did one last year, and that wasn't the feedback that I received. Majority of them did not want to go with the high school schedule. They liked parts of it, but the key was if you make sure you matched all the holidays once the school year started, that was more appealing.
that was the biggest, yeah.
But I understand the starting early and the ending at the different times. It can be childcare issue. I totally understand that.
Do you think we should put out a survey?
I certainly can.
I think it's a great idea.
We did it, like you said, we did it last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we overwhelmingly want community participation, so I think it's important I think we need to start pushing more surveys out and let parents, I think we need to let them know the voice is important and we take into consideration, their opinions.
Certainly.
Awesome, thank you.
You do that. And obviously we have a vacancy on the board. Mr. Costa resigned at the end of October. So the board does need to fill that vacancy relatively soon. We did notify the ROE of the vacancy. We just did, of course, inform you that if we didn't fill it, that you'd be willing to fill it on behalf. Greatly appreciate our offer of that, which is law. But I'm assuming you're going to fill that position. We did have one person so far. The last time we had one that had applied. It's sort of your decision on how you want to fill it and how you want to proceed with that. You don't have an answer tonight, but you need to make an answer on how you want to fill that. Do you want to have a special meeting? Do you want to interview? You just want to wait till this meeting and see someone. It's your decision on how you fill it.
Did we put that out there again
It is out.
recently? I mean, in the
Just
sense of
on the-
information, like saying that that's.
Is it only on the website, the information, or
It is.
was it,
It's on the website, yes.
and that's the only place? So could we put it somewhere else so more?
Did it see more, I guess, is what I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
I reached out to, at the time when Mr. Costa resigned, I reached out to Josie and asked she wanted to proceed. She said, put it out like we did in the past. That's what we did in the past. So
Okay.
we
I
can
would put it out in an email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just get a little bit more
Sure.
out there, a little bit
Do that.
more, just so hopefully we can, support
And I think we
people see it.
probably should do a special meeting to discuss.
Anything from administration building level you guys want to elaborate on or discuss?
We found a STEM teacher.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's exciting. When did they start?
They already did.
They already
Yeah.
did.
Perfect.
Monday, right?
Okay.
That translated into
I
lots
said,
of
you're
extra
coming back
work and
tomorrow,
schedule
right?
meetings.
But, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's great news.
Can you talk a little bit about the collaboration with the PTO and the Bears Down on Bullies?
Of
thing that
course.
they're gonna do?
This is, I collaborated with PTO, we talked to them, this is a presentation I brought into my last district, so Stanley the Bear comes, he comes with a friend, that's the, talker, and they basically do presentations for the different grade levels, so there'll be a elementary presentation and a junior high presentation, and just talking about the importance of being an upstander, really speaking up for each other and making sure to have positive interactions at school, so the kids in my last district really appreciated it, so we're excited. I was really excited to bring it here, and that PTO was willing to partner and pay for that. So I got the information, and they sent a check, which was really great. So I appreciate that. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions from members for him? We have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes regular and executive session minutes from October 27th finance meeting and the October 20th regular meeting minutes from November 3rd,